And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Zac Bruney Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zach, a nice win for you on Saturday at West Virginia State. Come from behind in that second half. Talk about that game and the battle your guys showed.
Well, they fought. Yeah, it was a really good football game. It was a really good college football game. They have a good team. They have some really good players on both offense and defense. Quarterback, running back, receivers are all very skilled and talented. Defensively, they got some guys that are very athletic and run. And we knew that. We didn't play very well early. We were just kind of spinning our tires a little bit on execution in all three phases. But we got a score, got some momentum right before the half, and I felt like our guys played really, really well. Complimentary football was evident in that second half, and we had to be one play, one drive, one possession better than we had been the week before, and we were able to do that and really get a really good road win against a good team that was tied with us, near the top of the conference.
And you guys got that score right before halftime. How big was that going to the locker room, getting that score, and kind of bringing some momentum into that second half?
Well, it was huge. Like I said, they had made a big play on offense and got a long touchdown. And, there wasn't much time left in the half, but our special teams made a smart play, let the kickoff go out of bounds. We got good field position, good starting field position because of that. So that was a very smart play by our special teams unit on kickoff return. And then we got some completions. We used the clock well. We timed and scored it. We got out of bounds. We had a timeout. We used it when we needed to. And it was big to get points, but it was a really well-executed play there near the red zone, near the goal line with a kind of a back shoulder throw from Landon to Colin. And, they executed it real well. So it gave us a boost. It didn't kind of, extinguish the bad taste in our mouth as far as just we didn't play very well for a quarter and a half. But we won those last, couple minutes of the first half, and then we won that middle part of the third quarter and got it to even. And then, we were able to pull it out in the fourth.
And then talk a little bit about that last drive late in the fourth. You have about just under 3 minutes to play. You get down in their side of the zone. You get that score. Talk about that last drive and kind of how things developed there.
Well, practice, execution, some timely third down plays. We had to emphasize third down more, because we hadn't been executing as well as we needed to in games prior on third down, on winning money down and making first downs. We were 57%, 58% in the game on Saturday. So we produced on third down. We made some plays. We had some timely runs. We had a nice run on 3rd and 7 from Amarion Taylor. We kind of fooled him a little bit, thinking pass situation, 3rd and a little bit longer. We popped a run, got a first down, and then a really nice play call on 2nd and about 8 to get us a long throw for a touchdown. Great read by Landon, good throw, nice catch by Sajari, and he was able to break one tackle and run through a guy to get in the end zone. So really well done. And then, of course, we needed one more stop at the end of the game to kind of finish it off.
And Landon had a really nice bounce-back game for himself. Came in, was a part of all 3 touchdowns, 245 all-purpose yards. Talk about him and that bounce-back, what that meant for him.
Well, he was coming off an injury, and he'd been battling for a couple of weeks. He'd been dressing, he'd been trying to practice, push through it. He really wasn't fully available for us until probably this past week. Like I said, he had dressed out a couple of weeks. He still wasn't 100%. He was pushing through, trying to get back. Shows his toughness, shows his grittiness, shows his tenacity. He has a good demeanor about him. He never is too high or too low with anything. Good, steady, even keel demeanor about him, and that's good when you're a quarterback. When you're a quarterback and you can not to get too high with highs and lows with lows, you just play the next play and you execute. He practices that way. But it was great to see him. He's one of our captains. Of course, he's one of our leaders. Great to see him have a really good game. And we feel like we have 2 very capable quarterbacks. We have got 2 Aday and Landon are both, good quarterbacks in our conference, good quarterbacks in Division II, and both are capable of winning games and helping us win ball games. So we're pleased with our depth at that position right now too, just like any other spot.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head football coach Zac Bruney. And Zac, there in the second half, big stand from your defense, held them just 3 points over the final 2 quarters. Talk about that stand in the second half and what you saw on that side of the ball.
Well, we executed better. It wasn't any major adjustments as far as what we had to do schematically. We executed better. We tackled well. We had some contributions from a bunch of guys. Our depth on the defensive line is good. We can roll. We can roll multiple guys through. Keeps our guys pretty fresh. It was a hot day again on Saturday. Both teams were battling guys that were cramping and things like that. But I think our depth. We rolled a couple different linebackers in. Our special teams allowed guys to get some breaks from being starting players, but backups have taken on starting roles on special teams from offense and defense, and guys are taking pride in that. So it was a total team effort, but the defense itself just executed better, just aligned and assigned with, a better sense of urgency, and their execution was at a higher level, and they held a really explosive team to, like you said, 3 points in the second half, and that was a big accomplishment because State's a really good offensive football team.
And obviously things don't get any easier as your season comes to a close. You got another top 25 team at Frostburg State this week. Talk about the Bobcats and kind of their matchups and what they're looking like. Well,
they're a really good program, and they're very well coached, and it's always you always know what you're going to get from a tough team that wants to run the football and has really good athletes at receiver. They're kind of like us. They have 2 very capable quarterbacks. Both have played this year for them. Both have won games for them and started. Big win for them last week. They're playing really well. So are we. They're very good on defense, like they always are. They're sound. They don't do a bunch of different exotic things schematically on defense, but they line up and they make you earn every yard that you get. So we'll have our hands full again, and we just have to go out and execute in practice and watch the film and use our scouting reports and get better through the week. We have to improve, and we have to play a really, really good game for 4 quarters. We can't spot anybody 17 and live on that mantra moving forward. But we won't. But our guys are gritty and tough, and they'll just keep playing no matter what. And so will Frostburg. And we've had 3 really good games with them the last 3 seasons, where it's come down to, again, last possessions, last drives, last quarters, and at the top of the conference. When you're competing, for championships in late October and November, you're playing meaningful football. That's what you're going to get. So we got another big test this week, and we got to come out and play well at home, and hopefully for 4 quarters we can execute.
And you also have a chance to connect with the community in this game, welcoming your youth campers in to see your team in the pregame, kind of be with them. What's that going to be like, seeing the youth kind of connect with your current players?
Well, it's great. I mean, community involvement and younger kids and the elementary schools and the middle schools from Ohio County, from Belmont County, from Jefferson County, the Ohio River Valley. Football matters. It's always been very important. Youth football, through flag football, through high school football, through junior high prior to that. So we had a youth camp this summer, and it was a big success. And part of their rewards, I guess, for coming and spending some time with us in the summer was the ability to come out and get to come to a game, be on the sidelines for some pregame warm up and do some pregame activity stuff with us. But we're excited to welcome some youngsters that spent some time with us this summer. My son is kind of part of that age group. My wife and I have 2 kids that are 8 and 1 that's 6, so they're right in that elementary time, and they have friends that my son has friends that really like football, and hopefully Saturday will be a good day for anybody that wants to be a part of the youth football day.
And finally, these next 2 weeks, your last 2 home games of the year, Frostburg this week, Concord next week. How are you guys going to kind of take pride in that home field and kind of try to finish strong at home before you hit the road to end things off?
Well, we'll just have to, play the games wherever they're at, and we have to play well at home. We have to practice well leading into those games. This week, big week of practice leading into a 4-quarter big home game. So it'll be the same thing next week as we prepare for a final home regular season game. So process, we want to keep consistent. Venue, we shouldn't let the venue dictate how well we play or not play based on that, but it's always important to play well at home, and it's important to have support and energy from family, friends, students, anybody that can be out there this Saturday. Hopefully we can get a big home crowd and give us some great energy for hopefully a great win.
Thanks, Zach. Good luck this week. Can't wait to see you out there.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.